Okay, guys, this is my presentation on manipulating CSS class properties using JavaScript. This is actually super simple, so it shouldn't take too long. If you have any questions, you can let me know since we're not really meeting together this week. But yeah, so just kind of a refresher from what Addison taught us last week. So I just kind of wanted to go back over how we can use JavaScript with our HTML. And so this was the example that he had in his presentation, so I'm going to just show it because it's a similar principle when we're manipulating the CSS. So if we remember how we have this p tag here with ID equals demo, and then we're telling it to get element by ID demo down here in the JavaScript, and then the inner HTML will be this text from intro paragraph is, and then we're using this my element variable up here, inner HTML. So, and then that will display this text here in the p tag with the ID of demo. So just super fast refresher of what he taught us. So when we are manipulating CSS, the syntax that we want to remember is document.getElementById, and then you'll put the ID in the parentheses, and it's always .style.property equals new style. And so these things here in like red and blue are the things that I'm going to talk about, the different properties and styles that there are. So kind of same thing though. The ID you're getting from HTML, you'll put it in there, and then that HTML ID item is what you will change the style of. So I just screenshotted a bunch of lists, a list of a bunch of different properties in HTML. There's obviously in CSS, sorry. There's obviously way more, but I'm sure we've all done a little bit of CSS at least. So we can change the background color, a border, you can change the font, the style, the size, you can change the color of the font family. So tons of different properties. You can find all of them online if you want to see more, but that's just what the properties are. That's what we mean by properties. And the style always goes along with the property. So this here would be manipulating a font, and so the color we're changing to blue, and blue is the style. So it's really similar to if you just had your own CSS document and you were saying, and you were listing it out like this. That's actually where I pulled this from. This was just from a CSS document. But you would do that where we have dot, and then property would be color equals, and then there's the new style, which would be blue. Or the same thing with the border and padding. So I'm just gonna pull up an example here that I made for my website. Like I said, this is all really simple. It's just a matter of knowing what the different properties and styles are. Okay, so this was lesson 7. Okay, so here we have two different little p tags that are saying hello world, and then I'm just going to click this button to change the properties, and this is where my JavaScript function will execute, and it's actually going to display the function down here so I can walk through what it's doing. So when I clicked that, it changed the second hello world to be blue and Arial font. And so what I did, this was the ID of this is p2. So I did in my JavaScript, it's document.getElementById p2, so calling that ID, and then .style.color, which is the property, and then equals blue, which is the style. And then did the same thing with font family, and then the font size and made it larger. So those are the different scripts that I'm using to get that to change. So I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, let me know. I think it's, for the most part, pretty basic, but also really, really helpful. And I think it's cool that you can you can change something when you're on a command like this, where I clicked a button and then it changed the CSS. And that's not something that I'd ever used before. And JavaScript is a really great way to do that. Anyway, so let me know if you have any questions, but that is it for this presentation. Thanks, guys.